Regal Movie Masters. Unlimited.
This is the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited podcast, where we indiscriminately watch every goddamn movie that comes out at the local theaters. Your movie masters today are Justine.
Hi.
Brent.
Hello.
Dylan.
What's up?
And I'm Colin. We got 4 on the docket. We've got the Marsh King's Daughter, Divinity, and what were the other ones?
What Happens Later?
And
Priscilla.
I don't know why it's so hard to remember these. Anywho, so we got a full docket of hot new flicks to talk about. We're so excited about it. I'll remind everyone that we do have an email in which you can contact us. It's moviemasters760@gmail.com, and an Instagram for your viewing pleasure as well. It's @officialmoviemasters on the old Instagram. We'll get straight to the chase here. Dylan, what's up first?
Well, we got the Marsh King's Daughter.
I guess you don't go get to the chase. I mix my stuff up like that.
Cut to the chase?
Hey,
Cut to the chase.
Get to it.
Yeah, we're going to
what
get
you-
to it. We're going to cut to the chase, starting with the first movie, which is...
The Marsh King's Daughter.
We were talking louder and louder.
As you mentioned, it features Star Wars lady, Rey Skywalker, a.k.a. Daisey Ridley.
I'm Rey. Rey
Daisey,
Star
fuck.
Wars. Daisy Star Wars.
Ridley Skywalker.
I kept calling her Daisy Ridley, or Daisy Scott. Or what did I call her in the theater?
I don't... Diddly Squat.
I kept calling her Riley Scott. Riley.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Rey Star Wars, starring it.
Anyway, The Marsh King's Daughter is a movie about a young mother must confront her long buried past as a child of a kidnapper.
Amazing.
Like, incredibly coherent. Keep going.
I think I recognize the words for sure.
Yeah,
Those are good words.
And you know, the girl he held captive when her father breaks out of prison, convinced he intends to take her daughters. Damn, this is a bad...
No, this is perfect.
I realized what I wrote down didn't make any sense. I kind of did it really quick.
They don't make
Convinced
sense,
he
bro.
intends to take her daughters, but there's only one daughter. I don't know why I pluralized it. She sets out to find and kill him herself.
Well,
Stars Daisey Ridley and Ben Mendelsohn. Mendelsohn.
Oh, so that's actually 2 Star Wars characters, because that's director Krennic.
Okay.
Yep, from Rogue One.
All right.
Damn, you think they know?
Double
You think they
Star
met before?
No, because they were in different movies.
Well, Star Wars. She had to be
Maybe
at the
at a
red.
con.
Well, she
Or
might have
at-
had to been at the red carpet.
Or Star Wars Celebration.
They're at like an opening. It's like, hey, you're Daisy Star Wars, aren't you?
Oh, you're Dr. Krennic.
I am. You're that scary man.
He's also in Marvel and DC universes.
He is or she is?
He is.
No.
So they
He is
just
for
need
sure,
like a
yeah.
guy. What is he in Marvel
He's the Skrull, the main Skrull
okay.
guy.
and in DC?
He's
Blue Beetle.
the guy that says, "Can we get some girls in here?"
Oh, legend. Yeah. So they got some. Don't tell me you don't know that iconic character. Lie to my fucking face and tell me, can we get some girls in here? Isn't one of the most iconic lines of the last 20 years of film.
Anyway, directed by Neil Hamburg. Fuck, I'm sorry.
I thought the same thing. when I
Neil
was watching-
Berger. I didn't mean to make this joke. It's directed by Neil Berger. He did The Illusionist and Limitless and Divergent. That's all I got.
All right. I don't want to step on your summary here.
Go ahead.
So the thing is, and this is like there's one word that went through my mind on this one, which is competent. I felt like this was a competent thriller with shades of Lifetime made for TV movie, but a little upscale, right? They show this little girl and this dad, and they're hunting, and everything seems all rural, and then basically turns out that the Marsh King, the titular Marsh King, abducted this lady and had this kid, and they've never been out of the woods. All this kid knows is the woods, and then they get caught. The jig is up. The lady escapes. She takes her daughter with her, and then it's sort of the bulk of the movie, though, is the Daisey Ridley's adult life as someone who grew up in this insane circumstance, and the dad, gets loose from jail, and she has to figure out what to do. I don't think she sets out to kill him,
Yeah.
but when it's like, hey, shoot, this guy's coming after my family, because I guess to have like movies have plot, they have to. This is a trope that kind of drives me batty, where it's like I'm a stone cold sociopath. I'm unfeeling. I'm uncaring. I will do these inhuman things. I'll murder. I'll do everything. But my family, God, my family means so much to me. I can't tell you. It is so important that I kidnapped my granddaughter, who I didn't know existed
knew.
until this point.
No, this is
Fine,
different.
I know.
Because that's part of his psychosis, his
Sure.
sociopathy.
Ooh,
That he
word.
like thinks that he owns these people. Like
Right.
the guy said, this tattoo means that you're owned. So he saw the woman who he kidnapped as his property, thus his daughter as his property, thus his granddaughter as his property. So it's not like he was like, I love you and gotta be with you and protect you. It was like, they took you from me when I owned you and I'm taking you back.
Right.
So-
But I mean, his cabin was his property too, and he's just like, oh, whatever.
He was in jail.
Yeah, well, same with those people. He was in jail with those people too.
He wanted to take him back to the cabin too.
I accept this all. Anyways, it all works on screen.
If
I
he
feel
really loved that cabin, he would have chewed his own leg off to get out of there.
it doesn't. Nothing seems far fetched. It's all within the logic of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm a desperate mother and I'm going to defend my family with everything. And I was raised with childhood trauma. In the context of a movie like that, everyone's actions are fine. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't dislike this one.
He didn't dislike it. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I think so. Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I think that's where I can put this.
I thought it was fine. I thought that some aspects of it were pretty cool. Like, it's just very weird in the beginning. All the weird woods stuff, and he's giving
Right.
her tattoos, and you don't know what's going on. And
Yeah, you're like, oh, they're like off the grid people.
yeah, but she does learn how to do things. Well, not to take care of herself, but how to behave in the woods, I guess,
Right.
and learn about stuff. And that's neat because then she uses those things later in her fight against her dad.
Who's back?
Yeah, it is really funny that it's like they fight.
Yeah, because there's no way to before the end. You're like, all right, this is gonna just have a non-violent conclusion. That could be a choice, but it's like, no, it has to end with the
Yeah.
bad guy getting killed by the mom. And I'm kind of like, poking jabs, but it is unfortunate when you're in a role as big as like those new Star Wars movies, and that just is how the world first sees you, and that's just
That's all I could see.
that's like the beginning and middle and end of your whole life. And it's sad because I think she does. I thought she was great in those Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
She was not the weak link in those at all. And weirdly playing a similar role in this movie where it's like kind of an adult with a lot of childhood trauma who's a survivor and tough and all that sort of stuff. And but I thought she did that part convincingly in this movie. Even you take away all the lasers and droids and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, she's good. I think she's good. It kind of bums me out that I don't know if she can like get out from under that Star Wars tag.
Because I'm willing to try really hard to get out of that frame of mind. I know Boyega's able to do it. I've been able to watch him without thinking Finn.
Well, I don't think he took up like 75% of the runtime of those movies. That trilogy didn't end with John Boyega going, "I'm what's his name in the movie? Finn Stormtrooper." Ba-ba!
Yeah, there's little things they
Conclusion.
could have done. Like, I thought of Rey less when they had her hair down. When she put it up, it's like, that's Rey. But then,
Oh yeah, messy bun. But this is
but
sad
check it
too.
out. When she like puts her hair down, I go, Alex Esso could have done this role. So yeah, it gets tricky for me watching Rey Skywalker.
And it's sad because she was born to wear a messy bun. Like she's a horse girl icon, man. I swear to God, this is a heavy horse girl movie. There's not horses in it, but it's like if you have little fantasies of
They're mentioned when the stepfather, when they go to that property, he says to the daughter,
there is a
Our
horse in it.
horses.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go show
So
the horses.
horse girls, listen, you got a film for you, and it's called what's this one called again?
The Marsh King's
The
daughter.
Marsh King's Daughter. Why don't people go watch these movies? It's weird. They have such enticing titles.
I think if you go see this movie, And there's other people there do the courtesy of not purchasing popcorn in a bag because everybody did that at mine, and people were kind of glaring at each other because it's such a quiet movie.
Yeah.
Not a lot of noise or sound in this one. So,
And it is something am thinking about, like the idea of a thriller lately. It is kind of its own thing, and it's not something you see too often, at least in like boy movies. They don't make them. I don't think they make them for boys often. So when I watch a movie like this, maybe it's like common if you're watching Lifetime stuff or whatever. I know there's a lot of these kind of movies being made, but I don't see them a lot. So it's kind of interesting to think about, like, well, what does make a thriller versus a horror movie? Because if the Marsh King was like, a ghost or a Frankenstein monster or something, and everything else is the same, then it's a horror movie. But since it's a guy and it's her dad, and it's,
You already know who it is.
yeah, it's more grounded. There's nothing supernatural going on. Then it becomes a thriller, and there's such a skill to building that tension, which, to your point, requires silence and requires pacing and tone, and it impresses me when I see that done well enough. Because I don't know if you guys were like on the edge of your seat, but yeah, there's some points in this movie where it's like, this is tense.
maybe there's something to the difference being in a thriller, the antagonist is known to the protagonist. You know what I mean? Whereas in horror, a lot of times it's unknown.
It's all about it's all about what lurks in the shadows and stuff. It's like, this is the guy that lurks in the shadows, and the cops won't help me, so I'm here on my own in this isolated place, and blah blah blah. And yeah, it's just one person instead of like them mowing through a party of teenagers or something. But either way, it still requires some craft to like effectively engage the viewer, and I felt pretty effectively engaged. Were you guys engaged? Dylan, were you engaged? Dylan, were you on the edge of your seat? Were you stressed out, Dylan?
Yeah, because and I know, like, you do it once, you don't need to do it again. Once they introduced the idea of him shooting a gun at someone's neck, every time that there was like someone kind of far away from her, like standing in front of her while they're talking, I kept thinking to myself, he's about to get shot in the face, bro.
Yeah.
He's like right behind them, and he's about to shoot her husband while she's stripping down, showing her tattoos. That guy's about to get shot in the face, bro.
That is a genuine threat in a movie. It's like if you introduce really early that someone's just a really good marksman,
Yeah.
because then anyone can get it from any distance.
Yeah.
Granted, it never really happened until, like, I don't know, I guess the very end, right? When, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, her I don't know, not her stepdad, but the Clark guy.
Yeah, it's a stepdad.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah. He gets shot from like afar with just a handgun.
Yeah.
So like between that guy getting shot and the guy in the very beginning getting shot, I just assumed at any point someone's getting their fucking head blown, and I just kept getting tense for that. That's a good tense right there, dude.
So I guess it's good on the film's part that they held you in suspense that long. For me, like the beginning, I thought got off to a great start in terms of establishing, whoa, this is kind of a jarring world. And then, I don't know, I wasn't really in suspense from that point on.
Well, I mean, just in terms of from a technical perspective, like when the dolls start showing up in the kids' room, and like there's things that introduce tension into the story. It's like musical cues and basic stuff like that give it a kind of ominous tone. I thought it was, I mean, again, I'm competent.
Yeah, I think
that's my word. That's
like a notch better than most things you'll see, in a given year.
And definitely, better than a Lifetime movie, but not on some entirely other plane artistically.
Mm-hmm. Did this one? It's weird. There's like, if you're on Instagram and you're editing a photo, there's that section that says vignette, and it darkens the corners of the photo. Felt like there was like this like first person shooter angle that was in this movie at various points, and it had that same thing where it was like
just dark around the edges. Yeah, it's like they got to show like woodsman vision.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with the Marsh, and this is how I see things.
I only remember that when she's having like flashbacks.
Okay, yes.
Or when she's like touching the tracks and stuff, when she's tracking.
That's my point. Is it's inconsistent. It's like it's in that, but then it's also in like real time when she's in first person shooter mode.
She's like trying to chase her dad.
Mm-hmm.
and she's like going into, I guess, I don't know what, I don't know exactly what a marsh is.
And
But-
there's long shots of her too where it does that,
Yeah, it's
in
like-
quote unquote real time.
Feels like RoboCop vision, where it's like, something highlights, like there's blood,
Tracking.
temperature, go.
Okay.
A little silly.
Red Dead Redemption.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know if we need to go on about this one too much.
Yeah.
The Marsh King's daughter. Are we going to leave this one in the swamp, or is this worth dragging out of the swamp? You could drag this out of the swamp. I do think it's fine. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. I've seen a lot worse. I've been a lot more bored. That's a good metric for a movie like this. It's like a thriller movie. If you're bored, then they really botched the job. And I was not bored during this. I don't think they botched the job, and I do think Daisey Ridley is a pretty good actress. So nice to see her getting to do some more stuff. So for that reason, sure, but don't break your back to watch this one or anything.
What is it? Pull it out of the swamp?
Yeah.
Pull it out of the swamp. Let it rise up like a weird monster.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I liked this movie. I thought it was cool. I thought there were a lot of neat ideas, and I think Daisey Ridley is great, and I love that she's like a tough girl.
Right.
And I mentioned this before, but I mean, it's sad if she doesn't get out of this type of role, because I think that she is good at what, acting, not just all the physical stuff too. So I'm sure she could pull off like a lot of drama or whatever, but I really would like her to continue doing this, like, not quite action movies,
Yeah.
something along those lines, and to become like the new Linda Hamilton, because she's just great to watch, I think. And I like her dad, the actor.
The Marsh King.
Yeah, I like the Marsh King. Everybody's good. The little girl is cute too, and she's
Yeah.
funny. It's always good.
Yes.
I liked it. I liked it more than I think you guys did.
I mean, I definitely did not dislike it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a competently made film.
Yes. Kind of boring though.
Yeah. And that brings to mind, I just heard of this new phenomenon that people are doing. It's called Netflix and chill, which I guess involves just like making out with people and doing sex stuff. And I think this is probably like what people would put on when they do the Netflix and chill,
No,
because
it's too quiet.
that's,
Oh, you need something.
you need it to be loud.
You got roommates and stuff. You want
Yeah.
to drown your shit out. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or it just has to be like super, or like, you don't want to get engaged. You don't want it to be too engaging
Yeah.
or something.
You just want to have something on.
Yeah. And
I think it's just like kind of like a wink to your partner being like, hey, you want to watch Rey Skywalker shoot a guy? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I definitely watch that. And
You would just watch Star Wars at that point.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
you watch something. I think
That's
ideally,
like too loud and like too engaging.
I think optimally you watch something you already know. Like,
Space Jam.
there we go. Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, Lola Bunny gets on screen.
I'm not going to.
Like I said, I'm new to this phenomenon and, just hearing about it today. So, I don't know much about what you're supposed to put on. But I thought you'd put on something like this because, like, you don't actually really want to watch it. I would say don't watch it in theaters. Check it out at home. It's not worth spending money on.
Wait, did you like it? I'm sorry.
I liked it.
I will say I felt a little when we watched Freelance last week. I was like, this also kind of feels money laundery in the same way. Not in that it's not. I didn't even think Freelance, which is a side note, I think the worst rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 0%.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Which is, and I can't, I think we said, yeah, it's not that good, but I don't think it's atrociously bad. It's just kind of a waste of time, but it's weird to see a movie that's like kind of a waste of time. Like a movie that I don't know why this sticks out in my head. Sorry to step on your stuff, Dylan. We'll come to you. Everyone, this is called building suspense. We're building tension to what Dylan's going to say by my interrupting him. It's hypnotic to me, that one movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That's like quietly one of the worst movies.
It's really bad.
Like ever. Like it's an atrociously bad movie.
Yeah.
Freelance is better than that. And I'm sure Hypnotic has like, a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes or something. So I don't know how a movie like that, how Freelance gets dogged that much. But I'm watching Freelance, I'm like, why this is money laundering, because there's no marketing for it. You've never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
It has John Cena in it. It has locations. It has action. So it's not like, two people in a room talking, low budget kind of movie. it has a cost to it. Why wouldn't you like run an advertisement somewhere to talk about these movies? And it's because it's a money laundering scheme. And I watched this movie and I kind of felt similar where it's like, this is a fine movie, but like, why? Why are we making these?
In the Regal app, I gloss past it every time I would flick through to see what's playing, what we have to watch this week, and it wasn't until you sent me a text saying competent thriller that I was like, okay, the timing lines up so that I can watch it.
Hypnotic has a 33%.
Yeah, so obviously a bad rating, but not 0%. And I think Hypnotic was very bad.
It was very bad.
I think we're worse. You'd say worse than Freelance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
John Cena is at least fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of action movie, like the guy protecting the lady, and the lady's like, "Oh, I hate the woods."
It's stupid, but it's stupid.
Yeah, whereas Hypnotic is
just
That was a great line.
gibberish.
It's stupid, but it's stupid.
Yeah, Hypnotic is genuinely like incomprehensible.
yeah.
Just doesn't make sense. Incoherent.
Confused.
There's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking
I
for.
remember getting out of that movie thinking that my day was ruined.
Yeah, it was a really bad movie. But I'm not gonna let's return to the matter at hand. Just Dylan, what do you think of the Marsh King's Daughter? Are you gonna drag it out of the swamp, or are you gonna leave it in the swamp?
I'll drag it out of the swamp, man. Save that movie. Watch it. Go ahead if you want to.
That's very David Byrne-esque of him.
Watch it
Go
if
ahead,
you want
watch that
to.
movie if you'd like to.
People like watching movies. It's a pastime enjoyed by many.
And it is nice. There's a lot of nature. It's a very calming,
Yeah.
setting.
It is strange. I think Where the Crawdads Sing was like one of our earlier movies that we watched.
I
And
was
it was
thinking
like
of that.
kind of hard to get out of that shadow, I guess. I feel like it must have been around the same time of year. It's Hollywood just like on a schedule, like, ah, shit, November's coming. We need a fucking swamp movie.
Yeah.
Girl in swamp
Such a way better, use of that.
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other movies are we talking about?
Well, listen, you guys watch this without me, even though everyone listening at home, I personally said I wanted to watch this movie. And Colin did not want to watch it. He was talking so much shit. Anyway, this movie was called Divinity, right? You guys saw that one? I didn't get the chance to see it.
I got a chance to see it, yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I only saw the trailer, and hopefully, what I gathered from the trailer is better than what I got from the Marsh King's Daughter. Granted, I saw that movie, and I wrote a really horrendous description of that film. Let's just see if I get this from the trailer. Jackson Pierce sells an anti-aging formula called Divinity, right, as a designer drug, until two mysterious brothers hold him prisoner in his mansion and subject him to enormous amounts of his own formula. Period. That's all I got from the trailer.
It's true.
Cool.
And no cast, no.
Oh, I know Stephen Dorff as Jackson. He's from Blade, and Emily Willis as Lynx, and she's from Porn, and Bella Thorne as Ziva, and she's a Disney person, and Moses Arias as Star. He's also a Disney person, and also in one of my favorite movies of all time, 5 Feet Apart, featuring Cole Sprouse. Coriche Tran as Nikita, and Mike O'Hearn as Rip Pierce. He's known as a bodybuilder, and is directed by a guy named Eddie Alcazar.
It's a good summary.
Yeah, I mean that's all I had. That's all I got from the film, from the trailer.
No, that's that is a pretty succinct description of the plot. Yeah, I guess this is kind of more of a vibe movie than a plot-driven one, though it's not completely dicking around. There is a plot, as you just heard. It is structured around it loosely. I'd say there's a place where exploitation movies or B movies or drive-in movies kind of meet the art house. It's usually historically kind of accidentally. Something like Jodorowsky's movies lean a little more towards the art house side, but they did play as midnight movies in America.
Oh, tons. Yeah, so
And-
many times they still do.
And early Cronenberg stuff. I'm talking Shivers and his student movies, and that's it. That era of Cronenberg, where it's you have a foot in both of these worlds.
Lynch, Elephant Man.
Of course, yeah, because it is a black and white movie, and an article I read on it said it was in 16 millimeter film, so it's pretty gritty. It's just, I think, pretty clearly to kind of cover up some of the wonky special effects. It is tough to tell a sci-fi story, because you do need effects and stuff like that, and have it be low budget.
But they solved it with stop motion.
Yeah, and there's some CG stuff in here which would probably look really bad if it was full color. I think probably a lot of this wouldn't have the appeal if it was like, the standard digital camera. So the black and white film, it's not just, smelling their own farts. I think it does serve a purpose in the movie. And this is definitely recalls like that era of film and that style of film. There's some pretty obvious references. There's a lot of focus on like commercials and media marketing, which is very like Paul Verhoeven, another kind of like art house / exploitation guy, probably leaning towards the exploitation side of things. Just I don't know. I guess it's probably not that smart of a movie if I got all the references to it. Exactly, but I like those kind of movies. So this was fun to see. I was totally caught off guard by it. And there's a danger in like making a black and white, low budget, self-aware, artsy genre movie, which is it's going to be really pretentious and annoying and not really have much to say. There is also in this movie kind of a glean of just LA culture, which is gross, but kind of inescapable because where the fuck are these movies made but in LA? And I don't know, I guess there's like anytime you're talking about this drug in the movie, the thing is there's this drug that makes people young and perfect forever. I think that idea might weigh on you a little more heavy if you live in LA. And if you don't live in LA, it might kind of seem like, I don't know, a tempest in a teapot, more or less, or not as present as it would be in there. So
what? I've never heard that before.
A tempest in a teapot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Just making stuff up.
It's a big deal, but in a very small contained space.
Oh, so it's not like
much ado about nothing, if
Okay.
you will. A mountain out of a molehill, if
Okay.
you will. Yeah. So, if you're living in LA, plastic surgery and all these designer drugs and stuff are probably going to be a lot more interesting and present of a subject matter than maybe they are in other places in the world. That and a lot of other reasons are why I say it has kind of a gross LA feel to it. But that's not the film's fault. But it's still, I think, it's rare to see a movie like this and have it not be pretentious, have it be pretty cool, have it be fun, have it not be boring, have it not be up its own ass. Good job, movie, I say.
Yeah, love the pre-title screen section. I thought that was great. Definitely love the stop motion at the end. The middle was definitely padded with that really slow, glacially paced indie voice thing, narration, voiceover. And I think it's because they made this movie without a script. So they had to pad the runtime. And I don't know, I think a lot of the middle stuff could have been snipped out or tightened up. It might have made a good short versus a serviceable regular length sci-fi art house flick. Question for both of you. Elon Musk gets a special thanks in the credits. Do you think that is because they are inspired by him or making commentary on him in that movie?
So I have uncertain the amount of Elon Musk parodies or like stand-in people or like this character is obviously a version of Elon Musk's that we've seen.
Yeah.
Plentiful. No shortage of that. They will just come out and say like, this is Balon Flusk and he's a rich CEO guy and we don't like him in this movie. So I didn't feel that they were there was any like jabs at him. I think
I didn't feel overt. So I was asking like what your opinion is on why that was included in there.
I could see them being inspired by that, but I would not have connected those things without that mention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of jarring when I saw it. I was like, why? What is that?
To lead them down writing that character, I guess. But I really enjoyed this movie. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really cool. Definitely got like a Lynchian vibe.
Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking like David Lynch makes a French New Wave sci-fi movie inspired by Terry Gilliam. It's so cool. I love an idea of a near future,
right,
a dystopian near future, but for no reason the tech is all old.
right.
Those giant computers and I just assume the screens are green and black, but it's in black and white, so whatever. And just the setting is amazing. The desert looks great. The house that they're in is insane. Everybody looks really cool, and I like the slow parts because, again, it has that new wave vibe where there's shots of people just like being bored to make you feel like you're out of place, which is what a lot of the characters are feeling at the time too, and just you feel like weird because it's a weird place to be in. And it's like it's futuristic, but it's also so primitive, like
Right.
Yeah, especially
like
the stop motion. I love that.
yeah, but it's like a futuristic primitivism. All this sci-fi stuff, but they're also like in the desert, and it's all very wild in that sterile way. But I like that it looks like a video game sometimes. There's a lot going on, I think, in the movie, and other than a couple of actors, I don't recognize the people that are in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's your Scott Bakula's are like
Yeah,
in your face, but the bulk of it is not that.
some people. I was thinking about Dick's the musical too, where it's like they're brothers. Go with it.
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah.
They are. I'll say to the slower parts in the middle, I think the movie does actually use all that stuff. Like it's not stylistic for stylistic's point. That whole like the Bella Thorne and her like fertile women cult that's like off to the side of the movie. That does play into the conclusion.
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm not saying it doesn't play
throwaway.
in. I'm just saying, like, all right, for me specifically, there's this music video by that band Silver Sun Pickups called Nightlife, and it just has that narration in between like verses and choruses, and it's just like Nightlife. And it sounded like the same voice and the same cadence to me, so it just kept yanking me out, which made me start thinking about the music video. And then I was like, man, I don't know if I like that music video because it keeps breaking up the song with like indie movie narration. So yeah, that was my own personal glitch.
Yeah, I think to the very, very few people that don't know these deep album cuts from
so deep,
incredibly relevant band Silver Sun Pickups. For that small minority of people who aren't oppressed by their music
and
videography,
they also would have to see this movie.
Yeah,
I think they would that kind of like. I think you're talking about like the vocal effect thing, like the vocoder sound that the guy uses.
I'm talking about just like the what's it called? Vocal fry, like that forced.
Wait, from who?
Like the
girl?
the
The narrator.
effects?
The narrator. Tran is her last name.
Oh, she's not narrator. She's
Whoever's
talking to the
narrating.
boys.
All right, but it was done in post.
It's like a montage, and she's talking over it. Like,
Yeah.
but she's talking to one of the boys. Basically, giving them their money's worth. Let's say.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that should be mentioned about this movie. And now that I'm reminded, is that it is very horny, which I do kind of appreciate. I appreciate seeing it because I think it's horniness is sometimes a little too artsy in these movies where it's just ornamental. And this
is very non-ornamental.
yeah, it's kind of there's like a generally visceral quality to the film, like tactile and everything. And so these twin people, they're like in this house. What's that?
Spoilers.
Well,
spoilers for Dylan.
Anyways, the thing is, this lady who does the narrating of this it's a montage of her like teaching them the ways of the flesh because they are these incarnate alien beings. So it's not just to say fun things. She's like teaching them, and that's how she's teaching them is just a montage of them getting down and dirty. This woman of the night. That's not a euphemism that gets used often anymore. Huh? She was a lady of the night. You don't hear that very often, but bring it back.
I will say, I hope that this movie inspires people to make weird movies and that more of those weird movies find their way to movie theaters. This would be one that I would say definitely support in a movie theater. Just check it out. It's not often you see stuff like this in a Regal anymore. Cool. It's so rare.
And it's I liked the movie just objectively in a bubble in itself. But when I read the interview with Steven Soderbergh, who produced it, it's just every little box I have is checked because he said so many cool things. He's like, look, you can get a movie in a theater. It's not hard to get a movie in a theater. We got this movie in the theater. Like we just made this movie and put it in because we felt like it. The problem is awareness, which is kind of what we were talking about a little bit with
Freelance.
I know I'm not the only one to bring up freelance and divinity in the same phrase, but these movies that come out that aren't advertised, and he's saying like, yeah, movie companies won't put $50 to $60 million marketing, which is what it takes to like raise awareness of the movies, into $5 million movies. Mm-hmm. It's counterintuitive. They'll do it for $100 million movies and up, even though the profit margin is better. If it's a $5 million movie and they spend $60 million to market it, they won't do it. So you'll have these smaller movies coming out, which we have seen, and they're good, they're bad, they're indifferent. But even their commercial movies, obviously you understand a movie like this there's no amount of marketing that can get this movie to be like a big thing. It's just too odd, But the Marsh King's Daughter, with the right marketing, could easily be a profitable movie. And he said this line, he's like, movie companies need to start worrying about profit, not obscene profits. And it's like, that's exactly the goddamn problem. And it said, he was just something funny. He was like, you see these financial companies, crypto people and all these businesses that are involved in money, but they don't make anything. If I lose every penny on this, at least I have a product to show for it at the end. People lose a bunch of money and they don't have anything to show. At least I have something to show for these movies. So I just loved his attitude towards getting stuff like this made. And absolutely should be supported.
So yeah, if you like what Steven Soderbergh has to say and you like him pairing with Eddie Alcazar on this movie, then you have another movie to watch from 2018. It's called Perfect, and it's available on Tubi. The summary is: a young man with a violent past enters a mysterious clinic where the patients wildly transform their bodies and minds using genetic engineering.
I'm up for it because I think this guy does have, again, it's a little like Alamo Drafthouse, vinyl soundtracks kind of energy to the movie. Again, it's just, these are kind of movies that people that are nerds about movies like. Maybe nerds about movies, but they don't really like. I don't think most people who are enjoying this movie know Truffaut and French New Wave. I don't think those are their references. I think they know Lynch, who was borrowing from those references. So they're getting kind of copies of copies. But I forgot where I was going with that.
Soderbergh.
Good movie. Fine movie. A delightful film. And I hope to see more stuff from them. Did we say what need to be said about this one? Divinity. Is this a gift from heaven? Or is this one... Are you not going to worship at this one's altar? This is a gift. It's a really fun, really odd movie. Not really odd. It's a fun movie. It's well made. It's interesting enough to watch in a movie and not feel like you wasted your money on, some slop or just a generic thing you've seen a million times. It's really cool to see. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Worship at it?
Is it a gift from the heavens?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. And I'm just I'm just thinking of it now, and there's so many really cool parts. I realize that it also reminds me of Fury Road. So I think if you like that,
did have a black and white cut.
Yeah, then you can really enjoy this one. Kind of like a little grotesque, a little quiet. It's really neat. I'm just gonna say watch it.
I'll echo that. Doing some crude math, only about 4,000 people have seen this movie so far in theaters, and I think that number needs to go up to, at the very least, just encourage more non-standard, different, weird, legitimately cool movies to be made.
The one old guy who was in the theater with us didn't like it. When he started turning into a monster, he was out.
Like, all right.
That's where I started really digging it again. It's like when all those mutations.
I was so hopeful. I was like, oh, this must be like a deep sci-fi guy or something. But no, I think he was just there to watch any movie that was playing during the day and got fed up once it got gross. So sorry, old guy. You tried.
Dude, what's funny is that happens every time I go to like a daytime showing at Regal. Tons of old people walk out.
I still support his effort for trying. He gave it a fair shake, and that's more than most of you. God damn it,
cowards!
Dylan, what are we talking about next?
Oh well, what happened later?
What happened later? Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. What happened later?
Yeah, after we talked about Divinity, so then what are we talking about later? What happened later?
What happened later?
That's what I'm asking you.
Anyways, the movie's called What Happens Later. I had to write a little summary of it. It is one of my favorite movies of the year, I must say. Snowed in at the regional airport overnight, ex-lovers Willa and Bill realize they're still attracted to each other, but also still equally annoyed with each other. As they unpack the riddle of their mutual past and compare their lives to the dreams they once shared, they begin to wonder if the reunion is a mere coincidence or something more enchanted. One of the best movies of the year, written, directed, and starring Meg Ryan as Meg Ryan, a.k.a. Willa, and David Duchovny as Bill, and Hal Liggett as the airport voice man.
I don't usually ask this for movies, Dylan, but I'm gonna have to ask you to name every single person who's in the credits.
Oh, let me just say it again. Meg Ryan, David Duchovny, Hal Liggett.
Okay, I understand those are the leads, but I'm talking like everyone, like when the credits roll and they just roll for like minutes after a movie, I want every name of the cast.
Yeah, okay, you ready?
Okay.
Meg Ryan, David Duchovny, and Hal Liggett.
Hold on. You're telling me though that's the entire cast
That
list?
is the only credited casts for this movie.
But at least we get to see all three of them, right?
You get to see 2 out of 3.
Because one of them's just a voice.
Yeah, and there's people at this airport. Let's not say it's an empty, like a completely empty airport.
No, it's
But they are walking around. No one has other lines. It's just those 3 people have lines.
yeah. You hear hustle and bustle in the background, but not lines enough to credit.
Then
Someone
there's a point where there's just those 2 people in the airport.
after hours.
Yeah. Anyways, one of the best films of the years. Based on the book Shooting Star by Stephen Dietz.
Give me the deets on that
Stephen
book.
Dietz.
Give me the
It's a movie. It's a book called Shooting Star. Anyway, the Meg Ryan must have read this book and was like, I can make it a little bit better and make it on the screen. And respect.
Who better to for me to direct than myself?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. She read it, was like, let me do this. I got this.
And you know what? I'm just going to turn on TV and the next face I see is going to be who I'm casting
You think
it.
X-Files just showed up or
No, it's
Californication? Or what's the movie? She was watching the Jonah Hill movie and she was like, oh, Jonah Hill's dad is
Oh, she's
David
watching
Duchovny.
Superbad. She's like, get me McLovin. I
No,
want
what's
him to be
what's
in the
the Jonah Hill movie where David Duchovny's his dad and he starts dating Nipsey Hussle's wife.
Oh, Jesus.
Is he his dad in that?
I thought so.
That's a deep pull. I know it's like You Should Come to Dinner or something like that. It's a name.
You people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
I don't know how I remember that.
That's a great
I was like, it's something racial.
I think you remembered it from your gigantic brain that's just running full power constantly.
Yes. Anyway, so she was watching that, said, give me that guy as my lead next. Love romance.
You know, Brent, you talk about movies being odd and weird in the movie theater. This one, I think, gives Divinity a run for its money. This is weirder than Divinity completely on accident.
Let me tell you where I'm at.
The
Okay.
Divinity tries really hard to be weird. It's letting you know it's going for something. This is a weirder movie strictly on accident.
I'm going to need you to get more granular with it because the way it's described and the way I'm hearing it right now, it's like evocative of like the Before trilogy with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, which I'm guessing by the way you're now alluding to it being weird, that it is nothing like those movies whatsoever. So like what makes it legitimately weird?
Because it's just these 2 people talking the whole time.
It's like Waiting for Godot.
Sure.
Okay.
My Dinner with Andre.
Okay, that's still the
My
Before
Dinner with
trilogy.
Andre, but
And
they kiss.
No, it's like it's just 2 people.
Yeah.
And it's like they're in purgatory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm absolutely certain this is a movie about David Duchovny dying and being in purgatory.
Yeah, there's like a god voice, which is like a guy on an overhead speaker in the airport. They are like being directly talked to. The environment changes according to them and stuff, and it's like their own realm. But it's so weird because you would not think that it's like that at all. It just turns into that.
All the power goes out and a Lightning Seeds song plays, and there's
Whoa.
a dance sequence for the entirety of the song length.
Whoa. Did you enjoy the weirdness?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
odd. It's not. It is like, I make no mistakes. This is not like a surrealist film intentionally, but
Yeah.
just due to some of the choices that they made, and I guess like the tone of it, it's pretty surreal. There's and they kind of let you know what you're in for, right? Because in the beginning, David Duchovny's trying to charge his phone, and there's this poster that says for a movie coming out, and this pisses me off, especially not to mention Dick's again in this one. After all those funny posters in the background of Dick's, there's like a poster for a RomCom movie, and it's just called RomCom, and just shows a guy in like a Shutterstock photo of a guy and girl kissing, and it's lit up. And then David Duchovny unplugs it to let you know, this ain't that, son. This is something else. Yeah. And, but it is, not entirely not that. It is still, Meg Ryan. But yeah, it's just odd is all.
What was the other movie we've seen recently that it's a rom-com and it tries to make references to other rom-coms?
Oh.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was in the snow. There was the girl and
The other Zoe.
The other Zoe.
Boom.
Good pull.
Great pull.
Yeah, I don't think you can make like a rom-com now without like letting people know that you know that rom-coms exist. Anyways, Dylan.
Yes.
I feel like I'm stepping on your joy
No,
here.
I don't care.
I want you to tell the people about the movie because you definitely got the most out of it.
Oh, I was so fucking happy watching that movie.
And that's the tagline for the movie, right?
I'm so fucking happy.
I was so fucking happy watching this movie.
That's like the quote on the poster.
RogerEbert.com.
Yeah. The more I think about the purgatory thing, the more it makes sense. Like the fact that they're listening to like modern remakes of 90s songs and they all suck. And David Duchovny's just like, turn it off, like as if like he's going to hell.
Yeah, he's in a coma, and just like fading out.
No, like that's his personal hell is like listening to shitty fucking 90s covers.
He has to resolve this issue with this embodiment of a woman in his brain before he can get on the airplane.
Go to heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or hell, where he belongs.
Well, maybe. Well, we don't know if he belongs there. But in the movie, he's all like, turn this shit off. It fucking sucks. And then they dance to 89's classic Lightning Seed song. Anyway, that's besides the point. No, I was so fucking happy. Immediately, when Meg Ryan just starts talking nonstop, like on 900 words a minute, just dialogue after dialogue, no breaks really.
Yeah, because she's doing like a 90s quirky girl, like a manic pixie dream girl before such phrases even existed.
Yeah.
Don't have to look it up, but do we know the last time Meg Ryan was on film that anybody here can recall?
It's been a hot minute from what I can
It's been
tell.
a long time. She came back with a fucking banger. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, wrote, directed, starred into it.
But like, I didn't know it was just going to be those two the entire time. I thought maybe it would be like the terminal where they're like talking to like Burger King employees or something. That would have made more sense. But it was just them. And Purgatory makes way more sense after a while.
And it's funny because you brought this up. We watched Inside with Willem Dafoe, which is just Willem Dafoe on screen for 90 minutes. And it still has, like, when the credits roll, there's like 10 people in the movie because he's on the phone with someone before. And there's like
they break in with some person.
Yeah, there's some, it's like, oh, it's a one guy movie. But when the credits roll, there's still going to be like a dozen people in it. I've never seen a movie with 3 fucking names in the cast. 1, 2, 3. Not like guy in background, annoying soccer kid.
Teens, yeah.
Nothing like just 3. I've never seen that.
I will say, I think that's what the special thanks were. Maybe they just, because there was a long special thanks list.
Yes.
So I can imagine it was like, we can't just put kid in background, girl, receptionist. Maybe they're just they don't want these credits.
This is all
special thanks.
I guess I'm just saying the movie that is one guy on screen losing his mind in a room for the whole movie has a wider cast than this, taking place in a populated airport. Crazy to see.
But no, I don't know, man. I just had a great time. The jokes landed every fucking time. The whole when David Duchovny's like, why would Soundgarden play 3 times in a row in San Francisco, dude?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll give the movie some plot here.
Yeah.
Like they run into each other in the airport. They have the same names. It's like he's W. They're the same. Yeah, they have the same names. W. Davis or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
William and Wilhelmina Davis.
Oh, and it's leap day. It's like the day that shouldn't be. February 29th.
February 29th.
And, all these perchance happenings are
She's
going
like
on.
a kind of a hippie lady, so she's like, all the energies are off. It's a leap day.
And he's like, I'm a business guy. I got to go places. I got a kid.
This is why we never ended up together. You're so opposite.
Then the voice of God, I mean the airport, is like, you're snowed in. You have to sit and talk to each other. Oh, geez, we got to sit and talk to each other. You never liked talking. That was your problem. I like talking plenty. I just don't like talking to you because of all my business stuff. You weren't like that before. And it's just that for the duration of the film is just them going back and forth, except for the dancing scene.
Justine, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was very long.
Like runtime or feel or both?
Both.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know this is not the intention, but this is feeling very meta. Like just sitting there waiting
wow.
for something to happen.
It was only an hour 40. Let's not
It felt very
pretend that
long.
it's some epic.
I think that's just because it's kind of a claustrophobic movie.
Right.
But I enjoyed it because it was very strange and it was out of nowhere. It was not at all what I was expecting. I'm like, okay, kind of rekindling a love because you ran into each other at the airport. Got it. No, not that.
No, but not yes either.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like very improvisational kind of.
Right.
And I just like David Duchovny doing that. He's funny. And Meg Ryan is Meg Ryaning. So,
Yeah.
so it was fine. I enjoyed it. I 50% enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take away from Dylan Sunshine here. It is definitely more odd than it ever should have been given the premise and just like the tone of the movie. Because it is still in the tone of a traditional rom-com. It's just other things would have happened if they were making something more conventional instead of just two people bickering and then finding out they like each other. And they reveal stuff about their lives, so you do learn about the characters. And I guess it's sort of an interesting idea that like when you meet someone briefly or just like, hey, what are you up to? Oh, no, nothing much. And then slowly as you spend more time, you can kind of chip away at that nothing much and it expands. And it's like, oh, wait, I thought you said this. Yeah, well, it was this, but then there's also that and these three other things. And you learn their whole life through them just kind of having more time to extrapolate on that, on the catching up factor. So
I'll do that sometimes. Like, how you talk to somebody on the phone. It's like, hey, how's everything? How's everything been? And everyone's like, oh, everything's great. Everything's doing great. And then you like ask one more question and then it opens up and you go, oh.
Yeah, what happened with this? Oh, they're dead. Oh, geez, is that okay? No, it hasn't been actually. Last 6 months have been my head. Yeah, so there's some of that goes on. So, character development and just an interesting exploration of a human condition or a weird thing that we do. just not talk about ourselves, even though that's the whole point.
Yeah. It reminded me of Road to Lord or something like that, where the ladies are looking for a miracle.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like that, where just along the way you start learning about all this other stuff that had been going on that was causing this schism.
Except this is just two people.
Yeah.
So what happens later? Is this one clear for takeoff? Or is this one grounded? I'm clearing it for takeoff. It is it's one, it's one to watch because it's definitely unique. There we go. And not unentertaining. It's not like eating your vegetables. This is not like a hard film to watch. It's friggin' two beloved actors chit-chatting on screen without anything else happening. It's fine. Entertaining in a unique way.
Okay, yeah, I guess, let it take off. It is very strange. I would say it's kind of worth seeing if you're just into that, like being curious about just like what weird things people will turn into films. But it is a movie that you also have to pay attention to. So like entertaining, unsure, but you do have to pay attention to it or else you will really not get anything out of it. But be patient. And again, you have charming people on screen. If it had been some other people, it may not have been so well received.
Dude, what if it was Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal again?
He could do it too.
Yeah, it would absolutely work.
You think it would work better?
Yeah.
I don't know about better.
Because he also has that kind of dry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Meg Ryan and Machine Gun Kelly.
And he lived through all that stuff.
Yeah, just fuck it. He's in his mid-50s. Go with it.
He's 49.
Yeah. Dude, that was crazy when you followed Blues Traveler around. That was sick. Anyways.
Meg Ryan's like,
yeah. They playing Soundgarden 3 times in a row.
You guys said you'll let it take off.
Yeah, it's cleared for takeoff.
Well, I'm gonna let them sit around for a while, rekindle some few things, and learn about each other, and then let them take off. It was one of one of the funniest, like unintentionally funniest movies I've ever seen, like of the year. Like, I was making a point that I was like really excited for this movie just because like I like Meg Ryan movies, but just to be like just batshit weird, just like again really strange. Like, it's just like, what's happening?
Genuinely stranger than it needed to be. I mean, this should have been like a real soft, underhand pitch genre. Go by the beats, plug in the people kind of archetypal story to do, but it isn't that at all.
No, it's weird. I like it a lot. I cannot like stress it enough. Like, you can watch it at home. That's fine. Granted, I liked it in theaters because you get to hear that badass Lightning Seed song in like a surround sound setting. But like, you can just listen to it at your house. But no, I like this movie a lot. I really recommend it, even just at home if you don't want to go out in theaters.
Well, we did go out to the theaters for one more movie, and I got a hunka burning question as to what movie that was, Dylan.
Oh, it's Priscilla, aka Priscilla,
the Queen of Rock and Roll.
The Queen? Is it called the Queen?
I don't know. She's married to the
King.
Yeah,
but she's
that
not,
makes sense.
But she's not musically
the Queen consort.
Yeah, because it's not like
the abducted child bride of rock and roll.
Damn.
I mean, I just watched a movie about her recently, Dylan, and let me tell you.
I'm talking about naming her anything of rock and roll. She didn't do anything really. She just married the guy. It's not like Madonna married Prince or whatever.
Now, again, another tagline of the movie. She didn't do anything really, just married the guy. This winter, fucking the lady Sophia Coppola presents.
She went through some trials and tribulations.
Priscilla, I mean.
Elvis, no wait, Priscilla.
Anyway.
Elvis 2, Priscilla. A Sophia Coppola movie.
It's just the A24 is darker. I mean, that's what it was.
The boys had their chance. Now it's time for us.
A darker, grittier take on Elvis.
Loads one of her guns. She does shoot guns in this movie. That
was sick, dude. You're gonna anyway. We're jumping the gun here.
Yeah. Speaking of guns, why don't you shoot me the summary of this film?
All right. Well, Priscilla. When a teenager, Priscilla Belieu. I don't know her last name. What's her real last name?
That's why it's not in the movie. It's just Priscilla.
When teenager Priscilla meets Elvis Presley at a party, the man who's already a meteoric rock and roll superstar becomes someone entirely unexpected in private moments, a thrilling crush, an ally in loneliness, and a gentle best friend.
But he also fucks her.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Anyway, it has Kaylee,
not to bury the lead.
Kaylee Spaney as Priscilla, Jacob Eller D as Elvis, and is directed by Sophia Coppola.
Coppola numbskulls over here.
Oh, sorry. Anywho, I don't know.
Somehow me and Dylan are the only ones who watch this movie.
Somehow the biggest movie of the weekend, and me and Colin.
This is a bad duo to watch a movie like this.
Did you guys at least see it together?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
We held hands.
All right.
That'd be crazy if Colin saw it alone.
Would it be?
Nothing.
on open weekend?
Dude, Colin seeing something alone is not weird anymore.
On opening weekend, because there's actually people in that theater.
Yeah.
Would be really funny. I really did not think you were going to show up.
I'm not going to. Never mind. I wanted Santana by myself. God damn it.
Well, that's different. You're a music guy.
There's music in this.
Oh, that's true.
This is the child bride of rock and roll.
You're a biography man.
I think you have to compare movies that are alike to other like movies. Like horror movies, you judge on horror movie standards. Kids movies, you judge on kids movie standards. I feel like this is a movie you have to judge on like perfume commercial or like, a fashion season lookbook standards. This isn't like a movie. This is very much so an excuse to look at a bunch of pretty dresses and like vintage furniture and, interiors and all of that kind of stuff. And Sofia Coppola does like a lot of that stuff. Most of her credits are like, Versace's and what is her big ones? Chanel's. She's a
Valentino person.
Yeah, Valentino. And this one, Chanel is like sponsored the movie, kind of. A lot like heavy perfume plugs in it. You're like, Priscilla, what do I know about like a good autobiography, right? You're like, I went in not knowing a lot about this person and I walked out and what a full, interesting life they led. You're like, oh, what's this girl? She was like a little kid and then Elvis like married her. And then you watch the movie and it's like, yeah, she was just a little kid and then Elvis married her and the movie shows him dressing her up. And, the real conflict of the movie is the struggles of Elvis to get around her parents who for some reason have a problem with, these pesky laws that protect 13-year-old girls from being in relationships with
Predators,
grown ass celebrities. I don't know why though. Okay. If a man directed this movie, his head would be on a fucking pike. Sofia Coppola clearly has of Lost in Translation fame, of Virgin Suicide fame, even Marie Antoinette, this 14-year-old queen, gets married off to someone. She has an age gap kink. That's fine. We don't kink shame. We respect it. But again, you don't get away with that, consistently putting that in your movies. If you're a guy and you're consistently putting that in your movies, I'm control effing Epstein's flight logs for your name, because it gets a little weird. And they don't like moralize with it. Like they don't really show it as bad. But at no point watching this little girl with this like fucking redneck lummox are you like, oh, their love is pure. Like you see, they're, different, but they have such chemistry together and their stories are so similar. You understand why their love is real. That doesn't really happen. It's just, he's just like, hey, I gotta go make a movie. Okay, Elvis, I'll just stay here. All right, you stay here. Oh man, I miss you, Elvis. I miss you too, but you gotta stay here. Okay. And then it's just long shots of her just sitting in this house. It's all this 60s furniture. And again, that's cool if you like looking at that stuff. But as far as like narrative goes, it's like, oh, this is gross. No point do they really put any effort in making it not seem gross. And they also don't make him out to be like this vile predator that's like, ha ha ha, I'm abducting you. Her parents several times was just like, he's the biggest guy in the world. He could have anyone. Why doesn't he mess with someone his own age? Why is he messing with our daughter? And you, the viewer, are like, yeah. And he keeps having, they in the press and everything, they're like, oh, he's with, this lady and that lady. Any movie he was ever in with a lady in it, Hollywood press would be like, oh, him and this lady are dating, to kind of drum up interest in the movie. And so a lot of this Priscilla movie is Priscilla sitting home being like, are you really with that girl? No, with her. This is the press. I don't like it, Elvis. Oh, it's just the movie. The Colonel wants it. Okay, Elvis, if you say so, but I don't like it. Fucking again and again. And it's all shown in like, they show like kind of slices of life over the duration of their experience. And it's not Priscilla. You don't get insight into her and you don't walk away being like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's just like, as soon as she leaves Elvis, I swear to God, she's like, Elvis, that's enough. I have to leave you. Leave you. I'm on pills. I'm in Vegas. It's the 70s now. All right, I'm wearing a 70s dress. I'm going to go now. Okay, credits. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah, I never knew anything about her story. Did they show their meet cute?
Well, they showed it in the fucking movie last year where he's just like, I'm on an army base and you're a girl and you exist.
And I still don't remember.
And she's like, Elvis, you're so cool. Because of course I think you're cool. I'm fucking 13 and you're the biggest guy in the world.
Think you're cool.
Yeah. And yeah, he's like, I'm on the military and you're on the military base. I don't know.
Oh, she was just on a military base and he spotted her? Okay.
Yeah, military brat, and he's in the service at that point. It's fucking confusing. And again, this is my lunkhead brain trying to like make logic out of the movie. Yeah. It's just an excuse to look at pretty dresses. It's fine. boy movies. We have a lot of them. It's strong guys. They punch guys.
Hell yeah.
They shoot shit. They blow shit up. We get a million of these power fantasies. Let this chick with an age gap kink have fun making these movies. Imagine I got to have that. And like montages where it's just like dresses. A lot of dresses. It's a lot of it. Fine. Let them have that. They get to have that. This is their movie. If you want to have that feeling, it's a great movie for you. I get Fast and Furious. You get Priscilla. Everyone wins. That's democracy in action, baby.
Dylan, tell him what he missed in this movie.
I'll tell you what I missed. Colonel.
No Colonel.
Yeah. Priscilla, where are you?
They just straight up, he just in passing mentioned,
Yeah.
Colonel wants me to do I don't know. Elvis.
You'll see him
Colonel
on-
wants me to do stuff.
He'll be on the phone.
Damn it!
I don't know.
That's my Priscilla.
That's your Priscilla.
Colonel wants me to do stuff. Oh, fuck.
Damn it, Elvis! We have a kid now. Don't fucking watch it. Don't watch no movie.
Gotta do this.
I love that every week this podcast turns more and more just impressions of shit.
My impression of Dylan's impression of
Yeah, your
the king of
impression.
rock and roll. Just a fucking orca whale.
Don't do that movie. We have a kid now. Stay home. Colonel wants me to do the movie.
Elvis, where are you?
Yeah, see, that's the only thing I missed from the Priscilla movie.
Yeah, because he's on the phone with them, but it's like you,
You don't even hear his voice.
You don't hear Tom.
Do you think Elvis and Priscilla were in purgatory?
in
the
No,
Colonel
no,
was the voice
there's
of
a
God?
lot
Okay.
of people. They even show, I think in real life, she fucked the karate instructor and like had an affair with Elvis. And they show a lot of time in this movie. Not a lot. There's some time given to some arbitrary shit. But one of them is with the karate guy. And they show her doing karate with a karate instructor guy. And so it's like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, then they had
Easter eggs for
then
the
they had a
real
little
Priscilla
backyard
heads.
double date.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was about it, right?
Yeah, but they didn't show it getting
They
spicy.
get steamy.
There's not really a lot of that shown. There's like intimate moments. There's in bed. You know what? You know who was I think the cinematographer of this? Quentin Tarantino using a fake name, because there is the opening fucking shots.
Oh,
is
it's her
just
toes, right?
Her
I
feet just
forgot.
like on a plush carpet walking. There's a lot of feet stuff. There's a lot of feet. There's
Even
a
Elvis, you see a lot of
suspiciously
Elvis feet too.
A lot
It's
of
weird.
feet.
I don't.
I think she's tight, or Sophia is tight with Quentin.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
he gave her some notes on how to shoot
Okay.
this movie. There's no like gratuitous sex scene, but there's a lot of scenes of them in bed and her
Remember that part? He was trying to put her feet in his mouth.
yes.
Yeah, that was-
yes, I do. Why
that
do I
was
remember that part? Because it was
That was sexy. It was hot.
prominently featured. Yeah, you don't see the Colonel, but you see that.
Yeah, you see that. But anyway, what did Colin miss?
From 2003 to 2005, Coppola dated filmmaker Quentin Tarantino. They have remained friends since their separation.
Yeah, see, they're not tight. Then they
She's
hate
like,
each other.
oh, I know what guys like. I'll give them something. This is what all normal men want to see.
Normal men.
Yes. This is what normal humans
This is what
men want.
Elvis liked. Priscilla's feet. What was I saying? What did you miss? I don't know. I thought it was fine. Other than the Colonel part, I wish there was just fucking snow jobs happening.
Zero snow jobs in this one.
I will say, I shouldn't be comparing it, but I don't know. You compare this with Elvis. Elvis is the way funner movie. Just because you get Tom Hanks' insane performance. No one's really like, I guess I don't know Priscilla like that. Like, so I'm just taking it as it is. Like, that's how she
Well, you
is.
watched a whole movie about her. Do you
No,
feel
but I'm
like you
saying,
have
like,
any...
as a person, I don't know how Priscilla is.
Does
Inter-
anyone?
That's what I'm saying. I guess, like, I have to take this for, like, truth, I suppose. Whereas Elvis, it's just all cartoon. So, like, I'm going to have to say the Elvis movie is way more fun.
So you know how Elvis had like that bizarre line about Wiggle Boys? Did this movie have any bizarre lines that stood out to either of you?
Not again. It's montages of dresses. There's dialogue.
okay.
It's just like
Yeah.
Elvis, when you come back?
I will say this, though. I was watching this one, and I realized, man, these fucking Gen Zers, bro, they cannot act. Because they just
Yeah.
cannot pronounce... I'm just joking. But I was just like, God damn, these Gen Z movies, they cannot fucking talk loud enough. Because the entire time I couldn't understand any word that was being said, even like by Priscilla, because she's whispering. Most of the actors are whispering.
Yeah, you think I'm doing a bit. I'm not doing a bit. This is
and
like
then Elvis
that.
Presley's also whisper, but also like talking in his voice. So it's even like more harder to understand. Movie.
Okay, Elvis, if you say so.
Watch. And then when Elvis gets really mad at Priscilla, he's like, "Damn it, Elvis, go get the hell out of here!"
Yeah,
I'm like, what are they saying?
Give me for instance, just an arbitrary, like there's scenes that are included, it just seems arbitrary. And they're like, Elvis is going over new songs for his movies. And like, I don't like these songs. And then, Priscilla, what do you think? Yeah, they kind of lack something. What do you mean they lack something? I mean, they're just not very catchy sounding. God damn it! And he throws the chair for some reason.
Yeah, he throws a chair like almost at her. He
Cut.
just misses.
Never mentioned again.
But what I'm saying is, gonna have to compare it to the best movie of the year that I've seen so far. Well, one of the best movies that I've seen. If we're gonna talk about acting chops with the Gen Zers and millennials / boomers, I suppose. Priscilla's whisper talking compared to the nonstop yelling in What Happens Later.
Yeah, enunciated.
Yeah,
That's something we didn't say about what happens later. Enunciation of their words.
Yeah, I understood everything that was happening and what's happened later. But in this one, I know that time jumps, but there's something like I had to like turn to my friend and be like, what did they say? Because like I noticed people laugh, and I'm just like kind of sitting in the middle of all this, and I'm like, what was the joke? I don't know what he said. I didn't understand what the fuck he says.
Put the subtitles on.
Well, maybe it's like me because I'm kind of deaf, but also I did not understand anything that was being said by the lead character, sadly. But I thought it was fine, I suppose. I'd watch it again if you had it on TV and I was just in the room. If I caught Colin watching it again, I'd probably watch it again.
Just seeing, you've been awfully silent here.
She didn't watch it, did you?
No, but Priscilla Presley is cool because she was in the Naked Gun movies.
Oh.
It's true. So let's not take away.
Yeah, so she got way better after Elvis.
Yeah, Sofia Coppola dropping the fucking ball, bearing the lead.
She should have
Yeah.
showed her in the Naked Gun.
If
Oh
you're
my
gonna
God, I
talk,
would watch that
if
movie.
you're
I
gonna
would
talk about
100% watch that
Priscilla,
movie. Like, yeah, Naked Gun era Priscilla Presley.
They barely show what's her
biopic.
name.
Lisa
Maybe.
Marie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It happens.
Yeah, I elbowed Dylan. I was like, that baby's gonna fuck Michael Jackson.
Oh, he didn't say it like that. He says, "Hey, that baby's gonna fuck Michael Jackson." And I'm like, "There's people in this."
the whole theater was like, "Oh, that's who that is."
Oh, that's Lisa Marie Presley. I'm just kidding.
I don't
You
know
did-
that they
you did
fucked
yell at
either.
me.
I don't.
You don't think so?
Yeah, allegedly.
You don't buy
Yeah,
it?
I don't know.
That might
Do
be
you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't know.
You
Oh,
think
they
it's
had,
just
they had a child,
They have a
but I
couple
don't know if
children.
it
Quote
means that
unquote.
they actually had
No,
sex.
that shit was.
you don't think
no.
it's like semen ingested or what's the
No.
word?
semen ingested.
That's your gore grind band.
Digestion. What's the word? Injection.
Oh, in vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, I don't think that I don't think that he's the father.
No. You think it's like DNA? Like that was like some testing?
I think whatever.
They were trying to make the ultimate music baby?
I think any idea you can come up with
yeah.
on how this baby got birthed is far more likely than Michael Jackson inserting his penis.
Yeah, I would say. Oh my god.
He broke him.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, are we going to abduct this one at 13-year-olds old and marry it, or are you going to, maybe let this child grow up without marrying her?
Which one's a good one?
Well, if you really like the movie, you'll abduct this child at 13. And
Yeah.
Well, you kind of need it to happen. The Earl's history wouldn't happen.
that's true.
You can, like you were talking about trying Dick's the musical again.
Right.
How you were trying to find some Sewer Boys merchandise. You can now buy a choker locket that she wears in the movie.
There you go.
On the A24 website.
There you go. Good merch, A24. You can buy the piece of clothing that the 13-year-old child was wearing when she was abducted by the mega celebrity.
But
Their
still no
parents-
sewer boys.
They got the parents to sign it away. So
So
it was an
it's legal.
abduction.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I guess you could like put a picture of the sewer boys in the locket. Column.
I would, if I got me some Sewer Boys dolls, I would definitely give them a coquette core makeover. I would give my Sewer Boys go through like a heavy Lana Del Rey phase, and they in that state would fucking love this movie. Me as a middle-aged man who doesn't care about 60s Americana dresses, I don't. This is a big miss for me. I'll somehow not abduct this child from her home. Dylan?
I'll abduct her, dude. And I'm gonna have to raise a baby, right? And then try and create and mix DNAs with my baby with the king of pop of the 80s. I believe Elvis was still alive around that time.
I'll let you believe that.
Yeah, like he's just hiding.
We don't know when he died. We
You
don't
know
have those
that.
numbers.
They
we
say
don't
they
have those
found him on the
numbers.
toilet. What the fuck?
Yeah, everyone goes to the toilet.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
human
think he's
nature.
still alive. And he tried to cross DNA these people.
King of
Yeah.
Rock.
King
King
of
of Pop.
legacy's going to live forever.
Yeah, but he didn't want to use his DNA because he's like, I wouldn't work.
Oh,
I need a
I've tried that
female.
already.
I need a female DNA. Thus raised baby. Anywho.
Hold on now. Are you seeing this movie? This man's a damn wolf man.
My favorite thing is watching you set your face before you talk like Elvis. That shit is funny.
Anyway, I like the movie. I didn't mind the movie. I think it's fine. If you want to see what happens, go ahead.
I think we've said all that need to be said. What more could be said? Nothing. Dylan, why don't you tell the people what we're watching next?
Unlimited.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited. This week, we finally get a new MCU movie, The Marvels. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but let me tell you, I'm really excited. Then we have a new Christmas-themed horror movie, It's a Wonderful Knife, the new Christmas slasher that I'm looking forward to. I have no idea what it's about, but I assume it's everything that we think it is. We also have Journey to Bethlehem, this year's Christmas musical. I'm not a religious guy, but let me tell you, I am beyond stoked to see this one. We also got The Holdovers. All I know is it has Paul Giamatti, and I am very, very, very excited to see this. Anyway, guys, see you at the movies. Bye!